I figured enough of us had jaundice, bad enough, excuse me, that they figured, well, we probably get killed anyhow, so we'll send them over, and if they don't make it, it's all right.
And you came back somewhere that in the fall there. You were there from the time we got to the casino, were you? Were you back to the company then?
Oh, when we came back to the company, I am hard put to remember the circumstance. However, Christmas had come and gone. I believe. Is that feasible, time-wise? Okay.
Yeah.
Christmas had come and gone. My Christmas packages, particularly the cookies, had been consumed. A pair of binoculars, the kind you wear on your nose of all things, like glasses, had my brother sent me. I'd asked for binoculars, and he sent me them. I don't know what else I got. I got some film for my little 4.5 Bantam. By that time, I think Koopman had, and that incident.
Yeah, that would fit, yeah. 'Cause I think it was long in November.
I may have been in Italy, back in Africa longer than I think. I have no recollection. I remember Nurse McPherson. She was a sweet little Canadian girl. Was our nurse. Looked after us.
He was back with Christmas.
Though I was a very docile guy, I appreciated lovely women, and she was one of those very, very, very sweet people. Just a dandy.
British hospital, huh?
Must have been. Well, no, she was just I think she was an American nurse.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't mean that. I think she was in the American hospital, but she was a Canadian gal.
So you came back probably there for, when we went back up to casino, you probably were there for that then, huh?
Anzio was before or after casino? After casino, yeah. Yeah, we were at casino. Yeah, we watched the bombing.
Okay.
We were on hand.
Get any pictures
I
of
can.
the
You tell about going up there. Yes, I did. I have later had access to the division photography file when I went to headquarters company, Georgie Friedman. There's a story there if I get to tell it. I don't know or not. Captain somebody, maybe Watkins, got maneuvered from the Air Force a ream, a big pack of 12 by 12 or something like that, aerial photography paper. Georgie was to make, major, whatever, a set of pictures, photographs from his files. Georgie never did it. I did it for me. And I have, that's where I got my rather large album that I have brought to the reunions. I went back to Washington one time, and I gave him a call and visited Watkins, I think. And I told him about that. He was not upset, but he was rather chagrined that I had him and he didn't. I never volunteered to bring mine to show him to him. He did treat me to a night's lodging and such, though. Back, where were we? Going to...
After casino, then we went to Anzio, somewhere along in there.
Casino is where Andy Geiger's flamethrowers did not work.
Yeah.
And I went on up to Anzio and was still with the guys at Anzio. Well, that's, of course, before Casino, where the howitzers blew, and I'm blaming them for wrecking my ears. Went to... Where are we going?
Huh?
Where are we going?
Anzio.
Yeah. Bad time.
You were back with the company. Did you go to headquarters with that?
No, I was still in the line company.
Still in the line company.
For quite a while yet, apparently.
Who was your sergeant there?
Haug.
Howard, okay.
Yeah. Dear old Ed. And Matt King, I suppose, was still there. Yeah, I'm sure he must have been. He might not have. We lost him somewhere.
Yeah, he was wounded there. And wounded when Belinsky was killed.
I remember going up night after night, Anzio Annie firing over us. Bang, bang, bang.
You up there in that, with Brish and
I was there the same night,
well, yeah, he was wounded.
apparently. There were, I think, 2 other guys killed that night.
Yeah.
Would Munir be one of them?
Munir was killed.
Okay.
About that.
When Brish was up there with his 2 fellows that got killed dead right now,
Yeah.
I don't know whether anyone wounded or not.
Munir was killed about that same time.
Yeah. Okay, they brought him back. We'd been up with concertinas. We had a load of them. It was my squad. I remember I put myself on the tail of the squad. I think I had the squad then. I was the perpetual corporal, getting the squad quite often and not getting stripes. Put myself on the rear, and I think, except for one other guy, all of the squad went over the top of me, going back when the phosphorus shells started dropping on us. But anyhow, we went back from there. I don't know what else happened at the moment, but it went back to one of the first buildings on the one of the roads running perpendicular to the front, and they brought in Minear and somebody else. And I remember trying to feel a pulse on Minear, and I forget whether he had a light one or whether he's already gone completely.
Jaeger carried you back, I think.
That was fun. Lots of fun. Darn it.
And if were you there for the breakout then, or did you stay with the company for a while?
Oh, I got one more on that, if I can squeeze it in. Dang it.
Yeah.
This poor guy is bored to death.
The exact opposite.
There were crossroads. There were a road going parallel to the front, essentially, that we'd come up on, and then we'd take one of the roads toward the front. One night coming up, the anti-personnel mines started falling like crazy. The Germans came over and just dropped little bombs all over the place. Well, we were almost to the point where we'd turn and go left at the front. And I'm telling stories that aren't very complimentary of the old troops.
Go ahead.
On the back of the truck, they started dropping. The guys went over the side. 3/4 of them got on the road, ran up a quarter of a mile or so to the first house and got off. Myself and 3 or 4 guys, 2 or 3, 4 guys, got out, got to the side of the road, got in a shell, and waited until we didn't hear any airplanes going over. And then we went up to the house. There was the rest of the crew was already up there. We watched the mortars coming up and coming down, and we just about knew where they were going to land from then on, so we could work our way forward. A couple of nights, we cleared a minefield within 100, 200 yards. I don't even mind, a bridge approach. It had been knocked out, and they wanted to bridge it with treads. And it was just 100, 200 yards from infantry headquarters on one of the crossroads. And we had removed the mines from the approaches to it, supposedly. Mm-hmm. Next night we were up there, and the wrecker tank came up with the treads to lay them across. I was standing, this is one of my ear problems, I was standing at the front left corner of the tank when it was coming in, maneuvering to lower the tread. We'd missed a mine. On the other side, blew off one of the treads of the tank. That was a kind of major concussion, too. I got clobbered with a few hunks of dirt that time and jumped into the hole.
Yeah.
Then it gets kind of testy because there's a knocked out tank. Tanks had generators in them, 12-volt generator or 24-volt generators. Leo Canfield and I both wanted that generator. He for his platoon and me for my platoon, so we'd have power. And one night we didn't have duty up front. We decided, well, turned out we were both going to have a chance at getting that generator. And Leo is the guy that was quite a gunman. I guess I can tell tales because he's gone now. He had a trick. He'd show he was 45. He was some specialist of some sort, so he carried a 45. He'd clean his gun or polish it, play with it, stick in a clip, pull a slide back, and obviously there was a cartridge in it. Put his hand over the muzzle and pull the trigger. Now he'd push the slide just back far enough so the trigger wouldn't come up and contact the firing pin. Okay, I got a start out to get the generator that night. And he showed it to me, incidentally, just before, because we were talking about who was going to get the generator. He showed me his trick. He never showed up that night. I got the generator, got shot at coming back with it, because the guy that was with me had a can of rations that flashed light, and we were going the crossroad, and it was exposed. And danged if we didn't get pretty good rifle fire in us. Anyhow, I got the generator. Got back to camp, and I found out why Canfield hadn't gotten there. Pulled the trick one more time, and it hadn't worked.
Yeah, I know.
But you know, he got back. He didn't get any trouble for it.
I had to write a letter. I was first sergeant. I had to write a letter to the JAG, explaining that he did this sort of trick all the time. I wrote the letter for that.
Did you?